Hello students and welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Shefali Nagpal, Associate Professor at Human Resource Development Center, Bhagat Phool Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Sonipat. We are studying the paper Development of the Management Thoughts, Principles and Types under Human Resource Management. Today we will discuss on Management by Objectives, commonly known as MBO. After the completion of this module, you will understand what MBO and how MBO prevailed in the organizations, to understand the importance of it and know how to implement and synergize the industries through MBO. Let us start with the introduction to the concept. Organizations are management which are managed by the human beings and with the proper objectives and visions. The most important tool the manager has in setting and achieving the forward-looking goal is people. And to achieve the results with this instrument, the manager must first be able to instill in the worker a sense of vital commitment and the desire to contribute to the organizational goal. Second, the control and coordinate the efforts of the employee towards that goal accomplishment. And last, help his or her subordinates to grow in the ability so that they can make the greater contributions. Managers always have been challenged to produce results, but the modern manager must provide them in a time of rapid technological and social change. Manager must be able to use this rapid change to produce their results. They must use the change and not to be used or swallowed up by it. Both the organization and the manager need to anticipate the changes and set aggressive, forward-looking goals so that they may ultimately begin to make the change occur when and where they want to, and in that way greater control over their environment and their goals. Now let us see the definition of the management by objective. The management by objective approach is the most comprehensive approach to management. The management by objective approach in the sense that it requires all the managers to set specific objectives to be achieved in future and encourages them to ask what more can be done on continuous basis. It is offered as a partial answer to the question of organization vitality and creativity. As a term, MBO was first used by Peter Drucker in 1954. As a management approach, it has been further developed by many management theoreticians, among them Douglas McGregor, John Humble. These are the famous ones. Essentially, MBO is a processor system designed for supervisory managers in which manager and his or her subordinates sit down jointly to set the specific objectives to be accomplished within the set time frame for which the subordinate is then held directly responsible. All organizations exist for a purpose, and to achieve that purpose, top management set the goals and objectives that are common to the whole organization. In organizations that are not using the MBO approach, the most planning and objective setting to achieve these common goals is directed downward. Plan and goals are passed down from one managerial level to another. The subordinates are told what to do and what they will be held responsible for. The MBO approach injects an element of dialogue into the process of passing plans and objectives from one organization level to another. The superior brings specific goal and measures for the subordinate to the meeting with the subordinate, who also brings the specific targets and measures that he or she sees as appropriate or contributing to the better accomplishment of the job. Together, they develop a group of specific goals, measures of the achievement and time frames within which the subordinate commit himself or herself to the accomplishment of those aims. The subordinate is then held responsible for the achievement of the goals. The managers and the subordinate may have occasional progress reviews and revaluation meetings. But at the end of the set period, the assignment is judged on the results and he or she has achieved. He or she may be rewarded for success by the promotion or salary increases, or he or she may be fired or transferred from that job, and that will provide necessary training or supervision if required. Whatever the outcome, it will be based on the accomplishment of the goals the subordinate had some part in setting and committed himself or herself to achieve. MBO is managing by demonstrable measuring results towards a predetermined goal and objectives. The tool MBO that it provides is viable alternative to intra-organizational administration by the crisis, fear, charisma or common sense. Now let us discuss the background of this approach of management by objective. Although management has been popularized very recently in the last few decades, the technique can be traced back to the writing of the Frederick Taylor in Principles of Scientific Management in the year 1911. He stressed the fact that the problems of the management should be solved by using the scientific methods. It is surprising to find that until Frederick wrote his book, there had been little or nothing in the literary history which concerned itself with principles, theories of or techniques of management principles. At the shop level, the time and motion studies, he intended his remarks to apply broadly, that is, within the organizational, sport administration. Peter Drucker first used the term management by objective in his book Principles of Management in the year 1954. It was from the scientific management foundation of the Taylor that the concept of management by the objective evolved. In brief, those of the classical and the traditional school would consider the inter-organizational administrator's function to be planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. The classical schools include theorists who are interested in getting the things done through the organization, etc. The behavioral school of management include behavioral sciences such as psychology, sociology, anthropology. This school stresses the management functions such as problem analysis, decision making and solution implementation. In contrast to the result-oriented traditionalist, the behavioralist place more concern on people and their needs. Organization behavior is a field of behavioral school which studies the internal working and relationship of organization. McGregor is one of the most popular members of this school. MBO practices in various organizations. In practice, this approach of necessity varies widely, especially regarding how formalized and structured it is in a given organization and to what degrees subordinates are allowed to set their own goals. In some organization, MBO is very formal management system with precise review, scheduling, set evaluation techniques, specific formats in which objectives and measures must be presented for review and discussion. In other organizations, it may be so informal as to be described simply as we get together and decide what we have done and what we are going to do. However, in most organizations, MBO takes the form of the formal objective setting and appraisal meeting held on the regular basis, often quarterly, semi-annually or annually. Even more situational than the degree of formality and structure is the degree to which the subordinate is allowed to set his or her own goals. In this regard, the kind of the work that an organization does play a large part in determining how much and on what level the subordinates will be allowed to participate in formulating his or her own goals. In some organization, a subordinate is almost told what he or she needs to do and is simply asked if he or she will commit in achieving to that goal, while in the others, a subordinate is given great latitude and room for innovation. For example, there is a contrast between the production situation in which a supervisor informs a subordinate that so many widgets must be made over the next 6 months and simply ask which part of production burden the assistant is willing to shoulder, and a university situation in which the department head informs the subordinate of the need to develop more community-oriented programs and asks how the subordinate thinks he or she can contribute to this goal. In the later circumstance, the subordinate has much more room for the innovation and personal contribution, as well as greater part in designing the specifics of the program that does the production worker who is simply asked which part of the particular activity he or she cares to commit to. Appropriately, control during the process of implementation of MBO. Control is an important function of the management, namely check and weigh implementation of the plan according to the predetermined plan and the standard measures, and adjust the action or the plan according to the deviation to everything is known fairly well, everything in the hand, thus to achieve the organizational goals better. Moderate control is that the scope, degree and frequency of the control are neither more nor less than to prevent the control is more excessive or inadequate. If the control is more excessive, it cannot reflect characteristic of the self-control in MBO. Thus, snuff out of enthusiasm, initiative and creativity of the faculty. If the control is more inadequate, the whole school will be in the state of disunity, which is not conducive to achieve the goals of the organization. Problems should be noted when evaluating the goals. The core of MBO is to make the specific objectives of the organization to become the direction and encouragement of the act of each member, each level, each department of organization, at the same time making them become the standards which evaluate the job performance of each member, each level, each department of organization, so that the organization to function effectively. This approach itself is a good way of appraisal method. When we apply MBO in the colleges and university where intellectual employees are more, especially check the staff, rewards and punishment and realization degrees of goals should be band together organically, beside pay attention to the fairness of rewards and punishment. When identify the target system in MBO, set down the goals for the leaders at all level, every department, every employee, and identify their respective responsibilities, which are the standards of evaluation and rewards and punishment. Therefore, reward and punishment should band together organically with the realization of degree of goals. Also pay attention to the fairness of the rewards and punishment, or else they will lose their enthusiasm, initiative and creativity. Now, there can be the leader missions about MBO in an organization. Let us study one by one. First is grasp the direction of the goal. Goal is a desired result which an organization will achieve in the certain period in the future through their efforts. Objective, just as the navigation mark and the powers which we move forward in, with which we have the direction for struggle. We must ensure that the direction of the goal is correct during the process of struggling for the goal. If the target direction is wrong, then greater the effort is, greater will be away from the goal. Therefore, the leaders at all levels should grasp the direction of goal when applying MBO approach in the college management or any organization to make the goal of the department according to the predetermined target system. We carry out the responsibility of the goals. Only decompose the goals into every post, every individual can ensure to realize the overall goal. Therefore, leaders at all levels should not only strive to do their jobs but also shoulder some responsibilities of the goal. On the other hand, leaders should pay attention to the abilities should be accordant with the post, namely use the person according to his abilities, the potential of the person, and the abilities should be commensurate with his post in the organization. If the post is high, the ability is low. If it is difficult to realize the goals. If the post is low, ability is high, and then cause the waste of talent. Mobilize the enthusiasm, initiative and creativity of subordinate. To fully mobilize the enthusiasm, initiative, creativity of the subordinate is radical way which improves the performance of management. The responsibility of the leaders lie in how to use people, how to take effective measures to develop, cultivate and enhance the ability of the subordinates. During the process of implementation of this approach, If the people's competence, ability cannot exert fully, it is difficult to achieve the goals of the leader. Next is do well the job of harmony and control. MBO emphasizes self-management and self-control, but the leaders should not give up the responsibility of inspection and guidance. Leaders have to go to investigate and research to predominate the implementation of the goals to discover the problems or to remind subordinate to correct themselves or directly intervene and take corrective measures. Leaders also harmonize the connections between the departments or individuals so that the goals of every department can develop with the overall equilibrium. Deal with outstanding problems. So-called exceptional problems are those problems which are an accident, novelty, nature and structure are not specific and have the significant influence. To make better use of this MBO approach and successfully achieve the predetermined target system, leaders at all levels should deal well with the disadvantage, influence with the exceptional problems and their causes. Let us see the self-concept of MBO. Before a supervisor can even begin to counsel a subordinate, he or she must understand what is likely to go in the particular subordinate's mind while the subordinate is being counseled. To get anywhere close to the mark, the supervisor must know how much possible about the subordinate personality, feelings and attitude is there. Each of us has created an image of himself and herself, an image variously tagged by the behavioral scientist as the self-image and the self-structure or the self-concept. Regardless of the label used, each one of us has a system of ideas and beliefs about him or herself that is accumulated through many years of the life experiences. Here are some important things to remember about the subordinate self-concept that will directly affect the superior's counseling relationship. First, it is a pattern of self-belief developed over the long period. Second, the person has a deep-seated need to preserve this system of ideas about himself or herself. Thirdly, in most cases, the person will want not only to preserve it, but also to enhance or improve it. Behavioral researchers have found that people cope with the threats of this self-concept by exhibiting defensive behavior or by changing their self-concept and possibly their actions. Greater the threat to a person, the more negative his or her reaction will be in counseling efforts. Setting the objectives. Probably the most challenging requirement of implementing management by objective is for the people involved to understand and able to write meaningful objectives. An objective is a statement that succeeds in communicating your intent. It describes an intended outcome. It describes the result or the changes which will prevail when the action is completed. Although the goals of the organization may sometimes be broad and vague, objectives must be specific and unambiguous. A statement such as to improve organizational program is to some people the idea of an objective. It is not an object which could be of any use in the management by objective technique. The first step of the organization administration should make after deciding to implement the management by objectives should be to practice how to write the meaningful objective. This objective should then be passed on to the other staff members. The meaningful objective would include the following characteristic. One is establishment of the new organizational programs, hiring of the new personals, development of the new organizational facilities, improvement of existing organizational programs and facilities, public relations. Thus, MBO helps solve this problem. Moreover, all levels of organization management will have benefited, resulting in more professional approaches to the organization administration. This approach provides for maintenance, orderly growth, and innovative breakthrough in the organizations by enabling everyone to know what is expected of him and a measurement of what is achieved. It is a system that, if used properly in the organization, It allows the administration for evaluation of the achievements rather than personalities. This approach could help overcome some of the chronic problems associated with the organization management. All members design the goal rather than the traditional top-down approach to design the goals. MBO itself is the senior management personnel, lower management personnel, as well as all the employees of the organization to design the goals of the organization to form one goal system. MBO is different from the traditional approaches. Conventional goals are made by the top management, then decomposed into the different parts and floated into the different levels of organization, which is one kind of unilateralism process. Superior makes or gives the goals to the junior. Such goals are non-operational because junior just passively accept the goals. And when the superiors or the subordinates of all level explain these goals with lot of understanding of their own, even with the prejudiceness, because of the lack of communication, as a result, the goals will lose that clarity and consistency during the process when it is distributed at the lower levels. They consider the goals are non-reasonable and their work enthusiasm decline and so on, which directly result in lacking of the power of implementation. The core of MBO is to make goals by the top and lower level management in the organization together and form the goal system, so that the specific objective of the organization become action direction and motivation of each member, each level, each department. At the same time, these goals become the standard which check the work performance of each member, each unit, each level, and thus the organization can actually move with more efficiency. Now let us discuss the advantages of the MBO. No matter what form the MBO approach takes in a given organization, it essentially a process that helps to direct the manager's attention towards the result, force the members of the organization to commit themselves to the specific achievement, to facilitate their thinking in terms of their organization's future need and setting the objectives to meet those needs. Also, MBO approach can supply the manager with the greater measures of the tools he or she need to make the best use of the organization greatest resource. That is, the manager can gain greater commitment and desires to contribute from subordinates by allowing them to feel that objectives they are working towards were not just handed to them but are really theirs, because they have been made the part of the plans for formulating them. Second, it also gives subordinates a better sense where they fit in the organization by making clear how the subordinates' objective fit into the overall picture. It also helps in injecting a vitality into the organizational life that comes with the energy produced as the worker strives to achieve the goal to which he or she has taken psychological, that is, some economic risk to commit. Secondly, it helps the manager to gain the better control and coordination towards the overall goal accomplishment by having the clear picture of who is doing what and how the parts of all fit together. Having subordinates who are more likely to control and coordinate their own activities because they know what will help and what will hinder their goal achievement. They being able to see which subordinate consistently produce and which do not. Thirdly, it helps the manager to gain an increased ability to help the subordinate develop by being better able to see their strengths and weaknesses in operation on the specific objective and using the management approach that teaches the subordinate to think in terms of the results in the future and approach that teaches them to try to anticipate change, to define clear and specific objectives and to delineate, concentrate measures that will tell them when they have achieved their goals. Now let us summarize the concept of MBO here. It is a process or the system designed for the superiors or the supervisory managers in which the manager and his or her subordinate they sit down together and jointly set the specific objectives to accomplish within the set time frame, for which the subordinate is then directly held responsible. In practice, this approach of necessity varies widely, especially in regard to how formalized and structured it is in a given organization and to what degree subordinates are allowed to set in their own goals. That is all. Thank you.